Do you realize that human beings are the only animals on the planet who'd be completely screwed if they didn't have access to a grocery store? I mean, look at these critters. They're fully self-sufficient, autonomous creatures that know how to keep themselves alive. I mean, that's just cheating. And no, that's not food. Even these critters, though they rely on their mommy to feed them super expensive, perfectly nutritionally balanced raw dog food, they know how to find food wherever they go. I mean, I have to stop them from eating rabbit poo in the grass every single morning. They would figure out how to keep themselves fed if they needed to. And then there's the modern day human. Without access to a grocery store or a restaurant, most modern humans wouldn't have the first clue as to how to go about feeding themselves. When you really think about that, that's kind of mind-blowing. I grew up in this system, so this is something that I never thought about until March of 2020, when the entire United States went buck wild for toilet paper, which has absolutely nothing to do with survival, by the way. My grandma grew up on a farm in Missouri, and this is what they used.
We used the Sears catalog. So whenever,
For toilet paper?
yeah, slippery, but
But it works. And corn cobs, right?
corn cobs.
We can survive without toilet paper, people, but we cannot survive without food. The fight for and hoarding of toilet paper proved that no one cared about anyone else's inability to wipe. They only cared about covering their own asses. So I can only imagine what things would look like if something happened to our food supply chain. And things did happen in 2020. I remember not being able to buy whole organic chicken or garlic for months. And those are items I have never had trouble finding before. It was really weird, and it got me thinking about my complete dependence on this thing that could fail so easily. Especially because at the time I was living in a little cabin up at 8,000 feet of elevation, and things would look like this for a few more months. And yes, the views were epic, but unfortunately, you cannot eat epic views. Most of the food in grocery stores is trucked in or flown in from many miles away. Just for an example, I went to my local grocery store and I picked up some food that's in season locally. Things that I've either purchased from farmers markets or things that I'm growing. Well, it's just basically kale right now. All of these items traveled from California over 2,000 miles away when they're in season here, right now in North Carolina. How does that make any sense at all? And this was just a sampling of foods. If something happened to the supply chain, that grocery store would be mostly empty when there's an abundance of food around us. Since March of 2020, I've been going down the rabbit hole of becoming more self-sufficient, learning to forage and grow my own food, and I've also been looking to my local community for food producers. I get about 95% of my produce from local farmers. I still buy the occasional vegetable or fruit from the grocery store, but I go to the farmers market weekly and I cook around what's available there at that time. I also buy my meat from a local Regenerative Ranch, where they produce 100% grass-fed beef and pasture-raised pork and chicken. Since my particular body doesn't do well on a vegetarian diet, I'm really particular about where I buy my meat from. I only want to purchase from places who treat the animals and the earth that they raise them on with respect. And yes, it is more expensive, but because I can afford it, it's worth it. While I do continue to go to the grocery store weekly, I know that I could survive without it if I needed to. And unfortunately, I don't think many people can say that. And this is a topic that I want to start talking about more frequently because I believe it's an important one. We're being continually pushed to globalize absolutely everything. And I think that's a mistake, especially when it comes to our food sources. Because food is something that humans can't live without for more than a couple of months. And with all of our modern day technology, we have the tools that we need to grow food in any climate, and that's regardless of the amount of sunshine that we receive. And I know this because I was looking into it when I was living up there, surrounded by that for 7 months out of the year. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is this something that you've ever thought about, or maybe you're being asked to think about it for the first time today? Let me know in the comments down below.
Bye! Thanks for watching! Dude, I'm totally not into this.